So good morning to all. From last couple of lectures, we are started the discussion regarding unit number 5. So that is nothing but logic circuits and flip-flops. So in first part, in logic circuits part, so basically this first part is of combinational circuits, right? And flip-flop from flip-flop, your sequential circuit will be started. So in logic circuits, we have seen what is the difference between combinational circuit and sequential circuits, right? So the main difference is in combinational, the output depends on only present input. Okay. Whereas in sequential circuits, output depends on present input as well as past input. So that's why memory is required in sequential circuits, whereas in combinational circuits, memory is not there. Okay. And many other differences also we have seen. Then we have started discussing regarding the code converters. So in our syllabus, there are three basic code converters, that is BCD, binary coded decimal code converter, then XS3, and last one is gray. So in order to discuss that, you should understand first what are these codes or how these codes can be represented. So we have seen first what is BCD code. So BCD code is nothing but a representation of a digit in its binary equivalent form. From 0 to 9, you have to just represent it in binary equivalent form. Then we have seen how to convert 4-bit binary number into BCD. Okay, so that was our first code converter. Then in second, we have seen what are XS3 codes. So XS3 is nothing but, as its name indicates, it will be binary equivalent plus binary 3, that is 0011. So you have to add 0011 in all the digits. Okay. So we have seen the conversion table related to the XS3 code as well. And then last session we have started our discussion regarding gray code. So in today's lecture we will discuss regarding the gray code converter. Uh, so okay, so I got one question, that why only we take min terms value. Okay, you can go ahead with the max term as well. There is no problem. But while doing max terms, you have to collect the zeros. Okay, in minimization, while doing minimization, you have to collect the zeros. There is no problem with the max term also. Okay. Since in many circuits it is more general to represent it in, so that's why there is no specific reason behind it. But you can go with the max term, there is no problem. But you should remember that whenever you are doing minimization with max term, you have to collect the zeros. Okay, you can do it at your you can practice like that also, and observe what are the changes. Yes, yes, answer will be correct. So these are different approaches only. You can follow any one of them, right? For this design of these different code converters, you can either go with the max term collection or min term collection. There is no problem as such. Only the corresponding representation will change. The answer will be slight different in the form of representation. But both answer will be correct. We are utilizing the approach of min terms. Okay. So now the third code is gray code. So we have discussed a little bit about what is gray code and how to convert it, how to convert a given binary number into gray code. Okay. So this gray code is also called as a reflective code, and it is also unit distance code. So why it is unit distance code? Because the successive code words we will see after a while, the successive code words in this code is differ in only one bit. Okay. if you observe the two successive bits in this code, then that two bits, the only difference between two bits, uh, mm, sorry, the only difference in the code words is only one bit will vary from 0 to 1 and 1 to 0, like that. All other three will be same. So this is the, hence it is called as, hence it is also called as unit distance code. Okay. Then why it is called as reflective code, it will be also clear to you after a while, right? So these are the steps we need to follow in order to convert your binary number into the equivalent gray code. So we have taken one example that if suppose you have to convert 1001 into gray code, then what procedure you have to follow? You have to follow these 4 steps. So first step is you have to record the MSB of binary as the MSB of gray code. So first one is very simple. You have to start from the MSB, okay, most significant bit. And so whatever will be the most significant bit of your binary number, you have to write the same MSB for the gray code also. So here you can observe one was the MSB in this binary, so I have written the same. Same will be for gray also. Okay. Then second step is you have to add this MSB to the next bit in the binary. If it is there is, if at all there is a carry, then you have to ignore that carry in each case. You only want the sum. Okay, you only want sum. That means 1 plus 1. Carry will be generated when both inputs are 1. So when there will be 1 plus 1, then your sum is 0. Right, and carry is 1. So you don't have to consider the carry part. So you have to ignore the carry. Just remember the sum. That is 1 plus 1 will be 0. Sum will be 0. Right, for all three cases. So according to second step, what we can do here, that you have to add 1 this MSB with the next digit, next bit. Okay, so 1 plus 0 is 1, and that sum you have to write on the as a second bit of your gray code, right? Then third step, what is third step? Just add the second bit of your binary to the third bit, and corresponding sum you have to write it here. So 0 plus 0 is nothing but 0. Okay, then again, what is the fourth step? You have to add third bit to the fourth bit, that is 0 plus 1, and corresponding sum you have to write it as a fourth bit of your gray code. Okay, so I hope you got this concept. It is very easy to understand, right? So first again I am repeating it for you. How will you get the gray code for given binary number? You have to write MSB as it is, then you have to add, just do the addition with the next bit. So 1 plus 0 becomes 1, 0 plus 0 becomes 0, 0 plus 1 becomes 1. So this is the equivalent gray code for your binary number. Is it okay? Have you understood how to obtain the gray code? All right. So now we will proceed with the gray code converter. So again, for all three code converters, we have kept the input same. Our input in all three code converters are nothing but 4-bit binary number. So always remember that. Okay. So 4-bit binary number are our input, and the gray output are nothing but the 4 bits of your gray code. So G4 is nothing but the most significant bit of your gray output, and G1 is the least significant bit. So you got 4 input, 4 output, and this decimal number, it is just for your reference. Okay. Then we have, again, since it is 4-bit binary is there, so possible combinations of in your conversion table are from 0 to 15. It is total 16 possible combinations of input is possible due to your input is 4-bit. If your input is 3 bit, then how many combinations can be possible? 2 raised to power 3, that is 8. Okay, 2 raised to power, you have to do these combinations. All right. Then here you can observe these are the binary representation from 0 to 15. Now on this side, what you have to find out? You have to find out the gray code for all these binary numbers. So here the gray code for all the binary number can be given. Okay, so we will just observe a couple of them, whether they are really its gray code or not, by following the 4 steps which I have already mentioned. Okay, so let's say we have taken this binary number 0011. Now you have to follow the 4 steps. So first step is whatever the MSB of your 4-bit binary number, that same MSB will be of your gray code as well. So here 0 is your MSB, so 0 is kept here, right? Then next thing is you have to add this 0, that is MSB, with the next bit. So 0 plus 0 is 0, you have written it here, right? Then again 0 plus 1 is 1, right? And then finally is 1 plus 1. Now always remember 1 plus 1 is nothing but you have to take only the sum and not carry. In this case 1 plus 1 becomes 0, but carry is generated. So carry is 1. So whenever there is a carry, you have to ignore the carry. So hence 1 plus 1, the sum becomes 0. Okay, you can try it with the another example, that is let's take 12. We are just verifying whether these are really the gray codes for these binary numbers, and it is actually very easy. Again, now this is your binary number, given binary number, and you have to obtain its gray code. And how will you do that? Again, follow 4 steps. First step is whatever the MSB of your 4-bit binary, the same MSB you have to write for the gray code. Okay, we have written 1. Then again you have to perform the additions. So 1 plus 1 becomes 0. Carry is generated, but you have to ignore the carry. So 1 plus 1, sum is 0. और यू कैन ऑल्सो रिमेंबर लाइक दिस, एक तो आप एडिशन करके कैरी इग्नोर करो, या फिर डू द सिंपल एक्सॉर ऑपरेशन. So what is XOR operation? If both inputs are like, then your output is 0. If your both inputs are different, then your output is 1. Okay, एक तो सम करके कैरी छोड़ दो, और do just XOR operation. Anyone you can, whichever way you find your comfort, you can do that, right? So 1 plus 1, the sum becomes 0 and carry is ignored. So we have written 0 here. Then next is 1 plus 0. 1 plus 0, the addition is 1. So we have written 1 here. And the last bit is 0 plus 0, that is 0. So in this way, you can find out the equivalent gray output for all these 4-bit binary numbers. Okay, is it fine? So this is the conversion table for 4-bit binary to gray converter. If you are having any difficulty up to this point, then you can ask me, especially in the conversion table. If it is understood to you, then we can proceed. Just let me know in the chat box whether you have understood this or not. Okay, well, I got few replies. So then we will proceed. So now another thing you have to observe here that we have just in earlier slide we have said that this code is reflective code, and I also told you that I will visit this point in the next slide. So just I will just draw one line here. So now you just observe that suppose a mirror is kept along this line. Suppose a mirror is kept along this line. Then these codes, these up the codes which are at the top of this line or at the over of this line. So these codes are nothing but the exact reflection of these codes. So just forget about this 000 and 111. Just observe these three, the values of these three bits. Okay. So you can observe here for this is here it is 000. Its reflection can be found out here. Similarly, the next code, if you observe, its reflection you can find out here, right? Then next, and it keeps on doing that. Okay. So this particular code is reflecting itself like a mirror. है ना? Yeah, 5, 11. 5 and 11. Okay. I hope you got this concept. I will again repeat it for you. So suppose this portion, suppose I have considered it as a mirror, then you can observe that these codes, especially this G3, G2 and G1, 3,
5, 5, 11, 4, 4, 12. Reflection.
yes, 5 for 5 it is triple one, and for 11
And 10th.
5 and 10. Yes, yes,
4 and 4 and
yes, like that. So these pairs will be formed, and it will appear as if this particular line is nothing but these are the reflection of the above codes which are present above. So hence this code is also called as reflective code. Okay. So now we got the reason why it is called as reflective code. So it is very easy to remember this gray output. Just remember this first 8 codes. You can remember this, or you can find out the values of gray output values for this binary number up to first 8 binary numbers, right? Then after that you have your answers here itself, so you can just copy these, but make sure these are nothing but in this sequence. Okay, all right. Then again we have to do our next step, that is you have to collect the min terms. How will you collect the min terms? You have to observe all the G4, G3, G2, G1 output bits, and you have to collect the min terms for which the output is 1. Okay, and you have to write it in the form of this expression. It is let's see what is the expression for G4. G4 is equals to summation of min terms 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. ओके, सो द क्वेश्चन वाज यहाँ पे मिन टर्म की जगह पे अगर मैक्स टर्म लिया तो कुछ होता है क्या? कुछ भी नहीं होता है, बट द डिफरेंस ओनली इज अगर आपने यहाँ पे मैक्स टर्म लिया तो यू हैव टू नाउ कलेक्ट द जीरो, नॉट वंस, है ना? यहाँ पे आपने वंस कलेक्ट किए ये वाले, बट अगर आप मैक्स टर्म से कर रहे हो डिजाइन, देन यू हैव टू कलेक्ट द zeros. I hope it is understood. Then I'm just revisiting the earlier slide. So you can observe for G4, these many bits are high. that is from 8 to 15. So the same thing I have explained here, I have written here. G4 is nothing but summation of minterms from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You can do your design by collecting the max term as well. So for max term, this M becomes capital M and this summation becomes pi. Okay. So product of max terms will be there and in bracket आपके कौन से max term आएंगे from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, because for this first 8 you have to collect now zeros. So I hope it is clear to you, but we are following the mean term approach. So hence we have collected these ones. Now again for G3 also you have to collect the ones. So you can observe the ones, the mean terms which are present, which are having values 1 are from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I guess 11, from 4 to 11. So you can observe here. G3 I have written it as the summation of mean terms from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Similarly, you have to collect the terms in terms for G2 and G1. Okay. Once you got all these four expression, now the next step will be you have to minimize, you have to draw the K-map, you have to map this expression, you have to map these min terms on the K-map, and then you have to find out the minimization or minimal value of your expression. Okay. So the same thing we have also done in BCD code converter and XS3 code converter as well. Alright. So by drawing K-maps for the outputs and minimizing them, the minimal expression of gray code outputs G4, G3, G2, G1 in terms of 4-bit binary inputs before B3, B2, B1 can be obtained. Okay. So now here comes your favorite part, that is minimization of K-map or minimization of expression. Right. So now this is the expression. So now you have to represent, you have to map this expression on the K-map first. So you can observe 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have just put ones here. Right. Then again you can clearly observe the one octet is possible and all ones are already included there. So there is no need to go for the pair or quad or anything else. Because सारे के सारे वन एक ही octet में आ चुके, right? So only one combination is possible here and that is also octet. So along this octet you can observe B2, B1 is changing clearly, and on this side B3 is also changing. Okay, so B3, B2 and B1 is changing, whereas the B4 is constant at 1. The value of B4 is constant at 1. So this total combination can be written as B4. Anyway, we know that for an octet 3 variables will be eliminated. This is 4 variable K-map. So out of this 4, 3 variables will be eliminated. And which 3 will be eliminated? The 3's which values are changing from 0 to 1. Okay. So here you can observe I got G4 equals to B4. Now you can do one exercise that I will just give this exercise to you. Just reply me in the chat box that just find out the minimized expression for G3. You can find out for G3, G2, G1, anyone. तो पहले G3 करते, find out the minimized expression for G3, and then once you found this minimized expression you can tell me, you can unmute your mic and you can tell me the minimized expression. Okay, so just do this. You have to first map these min terms on K-map and then you have to minimize it, and then finally just tell me what is the minimized expression. Okay, take your time and tell me once it is done. Okay, you can go for the G3, G2, G1, anyone. Okay, so just try one of them. Okay, so has anyone got the answer?
Sir, G3 equals to B4 bar B3 plus B4 B3 bar.
Yes, it is absolutely correct.
That's
Very good.
Equals to B3 B2 bar plus B3 bar B2.
It is G2, right? G2 expression.
Yes.
Okay.
And G1 equals to B2 bar B1 plus B2 B1 bar.
Yes, all three are exactly correct and very good. So in this way you have to do that. Okay. So you can observe. So K-map for G3, you have to again map this on your K-map, and then you can clearly observe that two quads are possible here. So for the quad which is given in the red color, so you can see that B2, B1 is clearly varying. Okay, so these these are changing. B2, B1 is changing, so that's why these two variables will be eliminated, and the corresponding term for this quad will be B4. The value of B4 is 0 and the value of B3 is 1. So B4 bar into B3. Okay, so B4 bar into B3. So this term we get from the red quad. Now from the blue quad again B2 B1 will be eliminated because these two variables are changing across this combination, and the value of B4 and B3 is 1 and 0. That means B4 B3 bar. So B4 B3 bar, right? So G3, so this combination, if you observe it carefully, the expression for XOR gate, we have discussed in the unit number 4, I think in the first lecture itself. So if you go back to that, suppose the XOR, there is one XOR gate and the inputs to the XOR gate are A and B, then the output expression for that XOR gate was AB bar AB bar plus A bar B plus A bar B. So this was its output. So whenever there is such kind of combination is there, you can clearly state that it is nothing but the XOR operation. XOR is indicated, the XOR operation is indicated like this, plus sign is encircled. Okay, so here you can observe that the same, it is in the same representation, that is AB bar plus A bar B. You can observe B4 B3 bar plus B4 bar B3, right? So hence this expression. So G3 is nothing but the XOR operation of B4 and B3, right? So you can represent the minimized expression of G3 as the XOR operation of B4 and B3. Okay. Now the K map for G2. So again you have to map. Mapping has been done. Then you have to collect the terms. Again you can observe in two quads you can collect the all ones. So for this red quad, again across this side B1 is changing, so B1 will be eliminated. Across this side B4 is changing, so B4 will be eliminated. Hence B3 and B2 are constant. So B3 is having value 1 and B2 is having value 0. So the term will be B3 B2 bar, right? So the same term I have written here, B3 B2 bar. It is obtained from this quad. Now for blue quad, you can observe the B2 is constant and B1 is varying, so B1 will be eliminated. Across this side B3 is constant at 0 and B4 is changing, so that's why B4 is eliminated. So B3 bar, because the value of B3 is 0, into B2 because the value of B2 is 1, B3 bar B2. So again this is also in the same form, AB bar plus A bar B. So hence, okay, just pardon for this mistake, there should not be a plus sign here. Okay, so B3 B2 bar plus B3 bar B2 equals to B3 XOR B2. Okay, so there should not be a plus sign. Okay, so this is a error. And similarly for KMF for G1 also, you have to map these ones, you have to collect and minimize. So after the minimization, two quads are possible, and from these two quads you will get two terms, B2 B1 bar plus B2 bar B1. Again these are in the XOR operation format. So G1, the expression for G1 is nothing but B2 XOR B1. Okay, so at the final, the minimal expression for XS3 outputs G3, G4, G3, G2 and G1 in terms of 4-bit binary inputs B4, B3, B2 and B1 are as follows. Okay, so this was the collection of all the expressions which we have got for the output bits. Okay, so G4 was nothing but B4, G3 is nothing but B4 XOR B3, G2 equals to B3 XOR B2 and G1 equals to B2 XOR B1. So now this is very simple expressions. So here you can observe this logic diagram can be constructed, and in this logic diagram you can observe the 4 bits are there, that are 4 input bits, and these are 4 output bits. So you can observe from this simple diagram that B4 is directly given as a G4. Why? Because of this expression, right? Because the whatever will be the value of B4, that is the value of MSB of your binary, the same MSB will be there for gray code. No, we have seen that it was in the step number 1. So hence this simple connection means B4 will be directly transmitted to the gray code output of G4. Then G3, what are the inputs to G3? the inputs to G3 are B3 and B4, and this gate is nothing but XOR gate, right? So since we have this equation, that is G3 equals to B4 XOR B3, so you can observe G3 equals to B4 XOR B3, right? Similarly, for this equation, G2 equals to B3 XOR B2. So again, you can observe G2 here, XOR gate is there, and the inputs are B3 and B2. Similarly for this case also. Okay. So since this expression is very simple, you can design such logic diagram. In case of BCD code converter and XS3 code converter also, the expression which we have got, output expression which we have got, these expressions were little bit complex, but these expressions can be realized using such gates as well. Okay, so this is the complete discussion regarding the code converters. So under this topic of code converters, we have seen three code converters. First one is BCD code converter, second one XS3 code converter, and then we have ended our discussion in this topic on gray code converter. So again, the important thing is, for all the code converters, our input was exactly same. What was our input? It was 4-bit binary number. So since it was 4-bit binary number, total 16 possible cases were there. 16 possible combinations were there. Okay. So I hope you got this concept of gray code. In total, code converter, you got this concept. And the flow also, we have kept it throughout the same. Okay. So you have to first write down the conversion table. Then this flow is exactly the same. First, you have to first write down the conversion table. Then you have to collect the terms. Once you have collected the terms for which the output is high, then you have to form these equations. Okay, and these equations should be in minimized form. So that's why what we have done, we have used K-map. After mapping, we have done the minimization process. And after that, we have got such sets of equations. And if possible, if it is simple, you can design that. If it is complex, you can just leave like this. If these equations are complex, then what you will do, you just draw the block diagram. Okay, one block you have to draw, the input you have to show as B4, B3, B2, B1, and the corresponding output should be shown. So here in this case, it was very simple and it can be easily realized using 3 XOR gates. Okay, so hence in this way we have completed the code converter topic. If you are having any doubt or any query regarding code converter topic, you can ask me. I hope it is understood to you, right? You can let me know in the chat box whether code converter is understood to you or not. What types of questions asked in exam? So on code converter, the questions will be like this only, that discuss the working of binary to BCD code converter or binary to gray code converter. Okay, so again, this question might be asked in a theoretical exam, but if suppose your exams, अगर आपके एग्जाम्स अगर MCQ बेस्ड होते हैं, then again I will provide you the corresponding MCQs also, so don't worry about it, right? The question bank will be provided, theoretical as well as MCQ based also I will provide it later. right? So now we shall move ahead with the next topic. 15 minutes we have. So the next topic is multiplexers. So multiplexers are also called as data selectors. So now what is multiplexer is? The multiplexer or data selector is a logic circuit that accepts several data inputs and allows only one of them at a time to get through the output. So in simple words, the multiplexer will have multiple inputs, right? But it will have only one output. So you can observe in this diagram as well. So there are multiple inputs. Okay. So there are n input signals. We have discussed it is n input signals. But only one output signal is there. Right. And there is also somewhat m select lines, it is shown here. So now since it is obvious that since it is only one output is there, any one input can be passed as a output. But which one input? So at a time एक ही input आपका output पे जाएगा. Okay. The output will be any one input out of all these n inputs. But कौन सा output आपका select होगा, that will be decided by these select lines. Right? So the desired data inputs can be selected by the select inputs. So suppose n inputs are there, and out of this n, which input is given as the output, that means which input is selected as output. So this function is nothing but it is given by the select lines. Okay, so select lines will basically select the input which is given to the output. That is the function of select lines. Okay, so a desired data inputs can be selected by select inputs. Figure shows the functional diagram of a general multiplexer. So this figure is nothing but the diagram of general multiplexer. So again, always remember, whichever multiplexer we will see, it will have only one output and more than one input will be there. So in this case, let's assume that the input signals are n and the select lines are m. Okay, the number of select lines are, let's say, m, and number of input signals are n. Then how n and m are related to each other is given by this expression. So n, that is number of inputs, it is equals to 2 raised to power m, that is 2 raised to power select lines, number of select lines. Okay, so let's say suppose only one select line is there, that is the value of m is 1, so number of inputs will be 2. 2 raised to 1 is 2. If the value of m is 2, that is 2 select lines are here, so what will be the value of input signals? 2 raised to power 2 equals to 4. The output will be always 1 in case of multiplexer. Okay, so you don't have to worry about the output. And input and select inputs are related by this equation. Okay, so again, I will take again one example. If the value of m, that is, if the select lines are 3, then the number of inputs will be 2 raised to power 3, that is 8. Okay, so just remember this equation, this is very important. It will tell you the relationship between the select lines and your input signals. Okay, so multiplexer acts like a digitally controlled multi-position switch. So you can observe here. So multiplexer acts like a digitally controlled multi-position switch. मतलब it acts as a switch, है ना, multi-position switch. मतलब आप इधर भी लॉक कर सकते हो उसको, इधर भी लॉक कर सकते हैं, and you can lock anywhere, you can connect it anywhere. The output can be connected anywhere amongst these many inputs. Okay, so it acts as a multi-position switch. The digital code is applied to select input determines which input will be switched to output. So ये मल्टी पोजिशन स्विच तो है, लेकिन कौन सा स्विच आपका एक्ट होगा? आउटपुट, मतलब कौन सा इनपुट और आउटपुट, कौन सा इनपुट आपने आउटपुट पे स्विच किया है, सो दैट विल बी सिलेक्टेड बाय दिस सिलेक्ट लाइन्स. Okay, so depending on the values of these select lines, the corresponding input will be switched to the output. So this is nothing but the general information regarding the multiplexer, right? So there are different kinds of multiplexer, different types of multiplexer depending on the inputs. So we will see couple of them. The first one is very simple, that is 2:1 multiplexer. 2 is to 2:1. It can be read as 2:1 or 2 input 1 output multiplexer. So 2 indicates the number of output and 1 is nothing but, so this 1 will be always 1, right? Because multiplexer has only one output. Always remember that. Many inputs, one output. Now this is the simplest multiplexer possible. So the figure shows the logic circuitry and function table for 2 input mux. So the short form of multiplexer is also capital MUX. Okay, but make sure that you are writing it as capital. So multiplexer is nothing but mux. So now this is the function table for 2 input mux, and these are the diagrams. So it is actually circuitry diagram, and this is the symbol. Okay, so always the mux is represented by this trapezoidal shape. This shape is nothing but trapezoidal. So these two are nothing but input bits. D0, D1, these are the inputs. S is nothing but the select line, because we have just now, what was the relation between number of inputs and number of select lines? The number of inputs was 2 raised to power number of select lines. So you can observe here only one select line is present, so that's why number of inputs were 2 raised to power 1, that is 2. Okay, and obviously output will be 1. So the Y is output, S is select line, D0 and D1 are inputs. So now under this trapezoidal block diagram, this is the actual circuitry. Okay, so you can observe these two AND gates are there, and this is OR gate and it is NOT gate. Okay, so logic level applied to the S determines which AND gate is enabled, so that the data input passes through OR gate to the output. That means out of these two, which input will be connected to the output? It is decided by the value of your select line, that is S. So you can observe in function table as well. So if the value of S is 0, if the value of S is 0, so now you can observe, suppose its value is 0. Okay, so now when the value of S is 0, so this point is also S. Okay, S is nothing but this terminal becomes 0. Similarly, S is also given through this AND gate via NOT. So यहाँ तक 0 आ जाएगा, and inverter will invert this value as to 1. Right? So since these are two AND gates, always remember when any one of the input to the AND gate is 0, that AND gate the output of AND gate will be always 0. दूसरा इनपुट कुछ भी रहे, whatever will be the value of another input for your AND gate, if any one input is 0, that means the output will be 0. Don't worry about the other input, right? So we are using this, that means this AND gate will be disabled. Just remember this word. And the first AND gate will be enabled. The second AND gate will be disabled. Okay. Now इसका तो आउटपुट 0 आएगा ही. Okay. Now we will see that now input is your D0. So this D1 cannot propagate through the Y, because the output of this gate is nothing but 0. आप D1 1 दो या फिर D1 0 दो, तो ये आपका इनपुट प्रोपोगेट हो ही नहीं रहा, because of this AND gate is now disabled. Why it is disabled? Because whenever any one of your input of AND gate is 0, then output will be 0. So this situation we will call it as the AND gate is disabled. Okay. Now observe here, let's say for D0 only two values are possible, right? The values of D0, since it is Boolean expression, either 1 or 0. The D0 can have the value either 1 or 0. Let's say D0 is having value 0. Okay, so what will be the output here? It will be 0. D0 की वैल्यू अगर 0 है तो यहाँ पे आउटपुट क्या आ रहा है? 0. Now let's say the D0 value, the value of D0 is, let's say 1 है. The value of D0 is 1. So now what will be the output of this AND gate? So this is 1. It was already 1 due to the select input, है ना? 0 के लिए बात चल रही है अपनी अभी. 0 के लिए ये AND gate डिसेबल हो गया था, एंड देन यहाँ पे आउटपुट वाज 1. तो देखो, जब D0 आप 0 देते हो तब आउटपुट 0 आता है, जब D0 आप 1 देते हो तब इस AND का आउटपुट 1 आता है. इसको मैं ऐसा कह सकता है क्या, वेदर इट इज पॉसिबल टू से दैट whatever the value of D0, I am getting D0 at the output of AND gate. Can I say like this? Right now, because if D0 is 0, then you are getting the output of this AND as 0. If D0 is 1, then again you are getting the value of AND gate is 1. So this D0 is nothing but the output of this AND gate. Now I am talking about this OR gate. Okay, तो यहाँ तक तो ठीक है. इस AND का आउटपुट क्या आएगा? D0, and the output of this AND will be 0 because it is disabled. Now since it is OR gate, we know that what is the function of OR gate. If any one of the input is high, then the output will be high, right? तो again you have to check. अब ये तो 0 है ही, right? This is already 0. Let's assume that the value of D0 is also 0. So this 0 0 means the value of OR gate will be 0. Let's say the value of D0 is 1. So now in that case, this 1 and this 0, the OR value will be 1. Again you can observe that whatever the value of D0, I am getting the exact value at the output. So I can write this as D0. The output is given by D0. So in this way it can be clearly observed here that whenever the select line is 0, that means it is selecting at the output, it is connected to the D0 input, and whatever will be the value of D0, it can be 0, it can be 1, the output will be the same. Similarly, whenever the select line, the value of select line is 1, your output will be switched to the B1. Okay, you can verify that. So this is the regarding 2:1 multiplexer working, and this is the output relation. The output Y can be given by this equation, D0 multiplied by S bar, है ना? So if you observe D0 multiplied by S bar, so since two inputs are in multiplication, it is this output. Since you can observe the input of this AND gate is D0 and another input is, suppose ये S था तो ये क्या हो जाएगा S bar. So the output of this AND gate will be this term D0 multiplied by S bar. Similarly, this term is nothing but the output of this AND gate D1, right? D1 here, and AND operation between D1 and S. So at the output you will get D1S, and finally the Y is nothing but the output of OR gate. So the input to this OR gate are nothing but these two terms. So hence plus sign is there. It is nothing but the OR operation. So this is the output equation for 2:1 multiplexer. Okay. So I hope it is clear to you. I will again discuss it in next lecture, so don't worry about it. So that's it for the day. If you are having any query, then you can ask me. Otherwise, you can leave the meeting, and I will declare that session has been concluded. So thank you.